I'm WUSA9 Weather Watch Meteorologist Topper Shutt. We're going to talk about some radar, some flooding. We're not quite done with the rain just yet. I'm also going to talk about why we issued a weather watch alert and how it worked out. So here's the radar past couple of hours, and we still have some pretty moderate rains in Prince George's County and east of I-95. And also I'm kind of perked up on this. Over the last hour or so, the activity along I-81 has become more intense, and there's even some flash flood warnings out for parts of our friends in West Virginia. Look at the lightning around Winchester. So that tells me anytime you see an increase in lightning, it often means, hey, the storm's getting a little bit stronger. So yeah, here is the flash flood warning until 10 o'clock for Hampshire and Mineral counties, and that's because of that storm that already went through. Now, we don't have any flash flood warnings in our area. We do have one up in Baltimore, but you see the green areas? Those are all aerial flood warnings, which means rivers and streams are still out of their banks, and you still have to be careful. So, again, the heaviest rainfall right now is in Prince George's County and east of I-95. But once again, some of the same places that got hit Monday, like Riverdale in northeast D.C., got hit again today. We'll zoom in, and there's the last couple of hours, and there was pretty moderate rainfall up until about a half an hour ago, even downtown. But now you see the yellows beginning to shrivel up, which is good. But you still have the darker green, which is still some rainfall that could cause some minor problems, if you will. So the heaviest rainfall, we'll kind of zoom in on this a little bit. Again, we have no severe thunderstorm warnings, okay, and we have no flash flood warnings, but we do still have the aerial flood warning in effect for much of the area, and that just means that that the rivers and streams are out of their banks at this point. We'll try this again here. This worked just a minute ago, I promise. We tested it. Oh, there's the flash flood warning for Hampshire and Mineral County. It had about 2 inches of rain in about an hour and 15 minutes. And this is a really heavy storm down into Winchester with frequent lightning. That's rainfall rates there of about 2 inches per hour, at least 1.5 inches to almost 2 inches per hour. So that's something we'll kind of zoom in on and just talk about for a second. Again, there's no warning on this. But this is a pretty heavy storm, and we'll zoom in. It's drifting off to the east, so it's going to head toward Millwood and Berryville here. And you see the lightning in between Winchester and Stevens City as you go down 81 and 11. So that's, again, not severe, but because we had so much rain, we could still see a flood warning issued for that particular cell. So we'll keep you posted on that. We'll zoom back out, and we're going to have a little bit of a break in between here, between the first round and the second round. And it looks like this is weakening a little bit between Hagerstown down toward Winchester. It's that one cell that has picked up in intensity. So I think for the most part, the threat for flooding is waning across the metro area, but still we have the flood watch in effect until 11 o'clock. Look at the rainfall. Just south of Clinton, 4.7 inches, and in between Bowie and Upper Marlboro, 4.7 inches. So anything over in the blue range is over 1 inch, and in the pink or magenta range is over 2 inches, and then you get into the 3 and 4 inch range there. That's pretty impressive, and no surprise we had flooding because A, it's a lot of rain, and B, it has already been a very wet July and a wet start to August. These are all the reports in terms of damage reports, storm reports. This is all flooding. That's a house with water. These are wind gusts. Well, I'll show you some of the wind gusts. They're not very impressive. The flooding is impressive. In fact, the flooding is quite impressive. We'll start with wind gusts down 95 there. That's 39-mile-per-hour wind gusts with a squall on the tidal Potomac. If I can sneak right in there, we might be at a wind gust there. Well, that's the 3rd Street Tunnel between New York Avenue and I-95. It was closed at 5:33 due to high water. I mean, this is all flooding. It's all reports of either roads closed or water rescues in some cases. There were numerous water rescues in Prince George's County tonight. Up to the north, up near Olney, we have Avery Road closed at 28 Norbeck Road. That was at about 5:44. So it's when that first surge came in between about 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock that produced all the flooding in lower Montgomery County and back into Prince George's County. So the winds were not bad, and notice it was kind of confined, and we talked about this yesterday. The models did a pretty good job in this case, how it kind of moved in 66 and it was either side of 66 and either side of 50. Not a case where the highest winds or the heaviest rain was north and west of town. It was essentially right in the immediate metro area. More flooding. I mean, we can go through all these here. Multiple water rescues. This was at 617, and this was in Glendale sections of Prince George's County, right there. We'll move a little further south, and we got at 558. We had Central Avenue was closed near I-495 due to high water. We showed you some of that video around Good Luck Road on the outer loop that had cars stranded. Even further south, this was a 645. Numerous roads closed upper Marlboro due to high water. So once again, the same areas that got pretty well hit Monday with that single storm really got hammered again today. But in terms of rainfall, not that, in terms of winds, not that strong. In terms of trees, this is one tree that was reported down at about 353 in Leesburg at 775 Gateway Drive. But for the most part, these are all flooding, and that's the lion's share. Don't have any reports of hail. The winds, again, were not crazy strong, 47-mile-per-hour wind at Woodbridge. But here's the deal. The threshold for a severe thunderstorm is 60 miles per hour, well, 58 really, or higher. And, you know, when you get winds of 49 or 47, we've had so much rain, that can still bring down trees and cause some problems. So there are your storm reports for tonight. Okay, we will go back out. There's our next batch of rain that's weakening. And again, this first batch is weakening, but it hasn't moved much. It still has some rainfall. Now, rainfall rates are not much, you know, a tenth to maybe a third of an inch per hour. That's about it. But still, that's kind of insult to injury. Okay, so we're going to move on now. Where are things going? This is Futurecast at 10 o'clock tonight. It just does, to me, I don't see how we're going to go from where we are now to this at 10 o'clock. I mean, it's totally drying up the activity out toward I-81 and it's getting rid of everything in the immediate metro area. It's shunting some stronger storms down toward Charlottesville. Temps in the 70s. I don't know. By midnight, maybe a sprinkle. Temperature still in the 70s. And then by 7 o'clock, here's the thing. A front's going to try to just barely go south of us by tomorrow morning. And that could trigger a couple of showers. Not severe, not crazy heavy. We're not issuing an alert for tomorrow. But you see a couple of, maybe even a rumble of thunder. That's at 10 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures in the 70s. And then that rolls through. And then we have some sunshine and pretty warm. Temperatures in the upper 80s again tomorrow. And then we have another system, a little light cold front comes through. And that's going to roll through tomorrow night, throw some clouds our way. Looks like it's going to move through dry. Okay, flood watch has not been changed. It is still until 11 o'clock tonight, and it covers essentially the entire metro area for the most part. They might start trimming it down, but I think with that second wave, probably not. So these in green are all the aerial flood warnings. The blue are more serious. The blue are the flash flood warnings. And that's out for our friends in Mineral County and up into Cumberland. But the watch goes until 11 o'clock, and I don't see any reason why they're going to, you know, trim that down at this point. Okay, let's go over this. What is a weather watch alert? Okay, well, we issue it when it satisfies 1, 2, or 3 of these criteria. It has to be life-threatening weather. Well, we had that today. You may have to change your plans. So, I mean, it's not always a huge meteorological event. But if you have to change your plans, that's a big impact to you. And then could be a dynamic situation where, you know, things change quickly. You have to kind of check back with this as new computer runs come in. It may change the timing, may change the placement of the storms. And looking ahead to winter, it may change the rain-snow line. So in this case, much like last Friday, it satisfied all of them right down the line. So that's why we issued a weather watch alert, and it worked out again today. Now, let's talk about temps, because temps are in our favor. Once we get through tomorrow, upper 80s, we're in the low 80s for essentially 9 more days. By the way, we've had 8 of our 10 days so far in August have been 90 or higher. We were 94 today. 86 on Friday is the highest temp we can find in the next 9 days, but mainly in the low 80s. That's fantastic. Okay, so we have a shower possible tomorrow morning, and then comfortable at noon, and then, well, warm and comfortable in the afternoon and evening. So tomorrow's a case where you could actually exercise after work and not be that uncomfortable. Humidity will be low enough. So let's review a little bit. We still have the flood watch until 11 o'clock tonight. So we're going to keep our weather watch up for a little bit longer. Morning shower or storm possible Thursday. A bit hot, but less humid. And then gorgeous Friday. Comfortably warm during the day. And then, rather cool Friday night. The Nats are in town, and, late in the game, you might want a sweater or a sweatshirt. I know that sounds crazy, but you might. So, upper 80s tomorrow, low 80s on Friday. Fantastic, not humid, just gorgeous on Saturday, low 80s again. And the lows are in the 60s downtown, which means low to mid 50s in the burbs. Sunday, had to throw a late shower in, but the day looks fine. And then a lot of showers on Monday. That may end up being our next weather watch alert day. Maybe some storms on Tuesday and then lights again on Wednesday. Nats come back into town Friday. Gorgeous that night, except we have to see Juan Soto in a different uniform. The Padres are coming into town, but they're in town Friday through the following Wednesday. So that's the deal. Flood watch continues until 11. That's why we issued the weather watch alert, and that's why we'll keep it going for a little bit longer. Now, I want to show you one more thing. Melissa, thank you. So this is a picture sent in, and we got a couple of pictures of this. And this is a storm cloud, so cumulonimbus, as the storms develop in the atmosphere with a thunderstorm, and we see a rainbow. And essentially, that are more clouds here, lenticular clouds here, developing with the updraft, and then the water droplets, or in some cases ice crystals, are refracting the light, and that's what's making the color. It's actually not that unusual, but it's sort of unusual to get a picture of it because it doesn't last that long. So that's pretty cool stuff. And once again, our weather watchers are taking great pictures. I'll show you one from Loudoun County that Susan Jacobs sent in at 11 o'clock. It's also a pretty good picture. So there you have it. Our weather watch alert will continue until at least 11 o'clock with that flood watch continuing. And right now in the metro area, no flash flood warnings, but there's still area flood warnings, so still be careful. Hopefully everybody's home. If they're not, tell them not to drive through a flooded road by car, or don't try to cross it by foot either. So in the meantime, I'm Meteorologist Topper Shutt. We'll see you tonight at 11.